Granblue Radio! ADO, ADO.
ADO, ADO.
You know, this is actually the first time. Oh man, I left it on. I was about to say, this is the first time I've done it without a headset, so I couldn't really, there's no like force feedback, so like, oh man, I might leave it on accident.
And guess what? It happened.
I know. Well, we'll edit that out in post. What's up, stream? It's Granblue Radio episode 5. Hope everything's doing good. I think we do have Dom in, like, since I'm not using the headset this time, like, and Dom's coming in for the first time on this side. I don't know if he's got any echo or anything like that, but, you know, let us know in stream. We'll fix it for you.
Yeah, hopefully things are going all right. Wow, so much muscle on your screen right now.
I know. I think I just got 6 chests. I didn't pay attention.
Well, there was.
Oh, there's a gun. Sick. That's a good way to start the radio.
Oh man, nice.
SSRs. What up, new face? I'm out Prinny. Good to see you. So, anyways, Granblue Radio episode 5. 5 is a lucky number, I guess. But we're getting started today. We actually have like a ton to talk about today.
There's so much to talk about. Should we start with? I think we were going to talk about the live stream last week.
Yeah, but before that, let's go ahead and like do our mailbox.
That's true.
Yeah, I think this mailbox, I guess people don't have as much of an opinion about what 5-star they want to see. We didn't have as many responses, but you know, I think we had one quality response that I really liked. And what up, Tsuntenshi? But I think this kind of this actually seems extremely likely too, if I had to say so myself. So last week we asked, what character or summon do you have that you want to get a max level limit break? And one person answered, let's see, it was Richie. Siegfried. He says, it's depressing how all of his other friends in the story are pretty great, but he just kind of sits there and does nothing. Please save him from mediocrity. Please let him be as good as his luscious hair. I don't think he spelled luscious right, but...
Is Lucius hair? I mean, they do kind of have the same hair. It's just long and unkept.
But yeah, luscious hair. I mean, like, his hair is pretty sick. And actually, like story-wise, he seems so much stronger than his buddies.
I mean, he's got that whole, like, wandering cowboy / Ronin. So,
yeah.
I mean...
Honestly, a 5-star Siegfried actually seems really likely, to be completely honest with you.
And he has 2 skins.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only guy to have more than 1 skin. So, you know.
It seems likely, honestly. If I had to guess, it would... Because Earth hasn't had their 5-star yet, right?
No, not yet.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, it would be Siegfried, honestly. Like, Melu is, like, not strong, but I don't think anyone likes her anyway, so...
And, I mean, Siegfried deserves it. He would basically be getting the Birdman treatment, because he would lose his minus defense on his attack up ability, probably, and then... Well, we'll see where they would bring him from there. Maybe he'd actually be that character who can save Earth the same way that Yule just gave Fire a huge boost when she got her 5-star.
Yeah, I do feel like Earth's, like, as far as attacking, they're not as cool as other, like, there's no, like, non-Guild War character that's like, this is the attacker kind of thing.
Yeah, their team synergy is pretty low, too. Like, you have Kag who can buff the team, you have Sarah who can just eat damage, and then from there you're just like, well, who else helps at all? The rest of the Earth team. And
it's like oftentimes I feel like Earth gets torn into 2 kinds of teams. Like there's like the meter teams, and then there's like that like generically good like all around team. But honestly,
and by
maybe
generically good all around, you actually just mean completely defensive.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no in between for that.
Yeah, because I mean you have Arulu and you have Kag and you have Sarah whose kits are almost entirely defensive. And then you have like all of these just completely ham characters whose only contribution to the team is meter.
Yeah, so apparently Sheep was hella quiet, but it's okay. It's not an episode without technical difficulties somewhere along the line. But we fixed it now, right?
Hopefully.
Sorry about that stream.
Alright, so yeah, I mean, Siegfried would be a great choice, especially since the previous thought, since both of Althea's children have gotten their 5-stars, people are like, oh, maybe Althea will be getting a 5-star. No, his voice actor is dead.
Yeah, they'd have to either redo all the lines or give him some kind of character development to make up for him not having his original voice or something.
Yeah, it would be really unfortunate. It would be like going between Guilty Gear X and Guilty Gear XX and having to change Shiozawa over to Koyasu.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Shiozawa.
You'd have to maybe give him like a robot mask or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that's it for this week's mailbox. We'll be sending you 50 crystals, Richie. Congratulations. Next week's mailbox will be, since, you know, this week's like the big cool thing everyone likes this week is, you know, Alicia Mama, right? So what I want to ask you is, what's a currently non-playable character in Granblue Fantasy that you want a playable character version of?
Am I allowed to answer?
I mean, you can save for next week if you want, but...
Yeah, I'll save it for next week then, if you don't have an opinion yet either.
I have to think about it, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's a snap decision, but I'll save it for next week.
So yeah, if you go ahead and send us a nice response, we pick your response and read it on the stream. And it's a good one, in addition to all these other random rules that I come up with as we go. We'll give you 50 crystals just for completing this quest, so make sure to get your responses in. We'll see you next week.
I'm looking forward to this one because there's a very interesting cast, and as of last week, people would have said, "Oh, let's put the Black Knight in there. It seems like she's no longer a villain. Let's try and get her in there."
Yeah, so I think the newest character they did release is the Black Knight, and let me get her on.
Well, the newest limited character. Let's be specific about that one.
I mean, it counts.
It does count.
And we'll talk a little bit more about like limited characters on the show actually, but Black Knight, I give you a black box to go with the Black Knight.
It's fair enough.
Yeah, I gotta fix that graphics card. Alright, there we go. So yeah, Black Knight was added last week, right?
Yeah, a little bit after Granblue Radio.
And then so, those of you who have not progressed very far in the story, major spoiler alerts, so maybe you should just mute this stream right now. But anyways, for everyone else, alright, everyone all good and muted. Everyone who needs to mute it, mute it.
But I mean, if you haven't gotten that far in the story, the character's not that good anyway, so...
I mean, the character is really cool looking, and I mean, a lot of people think that it's a male underneath that armor. And in fact, in the story, it's very, very ambiguous for the whole time. But you do find out that underneath the armor is Apollonia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Apollonia, yeah.
Apollonia. And then, yeah, it's a very, I guess, stern woman. And yeah, she's really, really cool. And they finally added the playable character version of this character, and honestly, it kind of lives up to the character's, like, I guess, lineage in the story, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The character's skills are, let's see. So the first one is a nuke. It's a 4-color nuke. It's pretty. I mean. Each of the nukes has its own individual cap, so it's not, you know, it's not super strong or anything, but it is like, it also comes with a dispel and like 3 other debuffs. So
wow,
just in case,
congratulations!
I think it was.
Yeah, so in case you need any kind of utility at all, bam, Black Knight, right? I mean, it's just really cool that it just does all 4. I mean, I think that it was themed to have like be all 4 of the major spells.
Yeah, they specifically said it would. She was casting like Blizzard, Fire, you know, etc., etc. The all 4 of the spells at once.
Yeah, so it's really cool if you think about it that way, flavor-wise. And then her second ability is
pretty generic lifesteal.
Yeah, it's just a drain.
Similar.
I mean, dark characters tend to have drains. It's just their thing, I guess.
Yep.
And last but not least, she has a Fear ability for her third ability. And Fear, as you may know, is one of the strongest status ailments in Granblue Fantasy. Basically, it prevents your opponent, any enemy with a charge gauge from building any meter. And that's actually really, really strong. It's kind of like, you know, it's your turn, pretty much. it's a cornerstone of Fire's playstyle, and I think they were always hinting that it would become a major part of Dark's playstyle, considering Dark is full of things like slow and so on and so forth. And now you have like something that works really well with slow in Fear.
Yeah, it's kind of redundant with slow, but not really redundant. It lets you cool down your slow pretty well. I mean, you'll usually be getting about 6 turns during a Fear if you're mashing.
So then you can kind of chain it all together, and maybe your enemy boss, won't even get their super out if it's a certain kind of boss, which is not always a good thing in Granblue Fantasy, but
very specifically against Yggdrasil HL, Impossible.
And also the light the light Omega boss, Lumiere, is also, it's probably better to let her put it on, honestly.
Yeah.
It gives you a chance to breathe. But unfortunately for most people who think like that's really cool and all, and it is really cool and all, you actually do not get access to her third ability until you've cleared Story Mode Chapter 63.
63.
So like,
that's a...
yeah, it's after a really, really difficult boss fight. So most players will not have this for at least 2 to 3 months, I would say.
Yeah. And the other thing is that since it is her third ability and not her second, it doesn't get upgraded by the normal leveling. So technically it is a little bit worse than Percival's because its cooldown is 1 turn longer, which can be quite significant.
It is, certainly. And also, there's the other thing that it kind of has a... Just in general, I think her other skills are generally actually kind of a little bit worse than Percival's, I would say. Because Percival's like self-buff is really, really, really good.
Yeah. And so, it's just expanding the toolkit a little bit, and unfortunately some people are calling this the death knell of Fire, but, those same people just call Doom for everything anyway.
I feel like Fire is... It stays in its niche, and it's still valuable to even Proto-Bahamut raids, so, because you're not going to land Dark Fear against Proto-Bahamut, you're going to land it against the Wind Phase with Percival, so, it's still the same thing, honestly.
Yeah.
And her Black Knight's passive is probably the most interesting one, the one that, if she has any kind of elemental attack up, like Fire, Earth, Wind, or Water, she converts that into Dark.
Yeah, we've seen this previously on Magisa's Morax mode, and it's just more of a bonus than it is a cornerstone. Like the same thing with her other passive, Black Knight's other passive, the one where the fewer characters there are in your active party, the stronger she gets. Where it's not really going to make or break the character, but it's nice because
it's just bonus stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
There are so many situations in these raids where you'll catch someone else's carbuncle and you're just like, well, what does it do for me?
But now it's just free 25% more attack for this character, which is pretty great.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like I said, it's not game breaking one way or another. And people were declaring that it was just the end of days with Petra, and then they specifically say a few hours later, it's like, yeah, there's a cap on this. So don't expect it to be broken with Petra.
It's a pretty reasonable cap anyway. But either way, it's good. Like when you play Dark a lot of players will play Dark only, and then so they bring off-color carbuncles all the time to resist damage. And now it just gives your Dark Knight some more damage too, which is really cool. I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really important that I really need to bring up though. So you know what Apollonia looks like, right?
Yes.
So she's wearing a... I don't really know how to really describe what's underneath her armor, but I would say
it's racing
like a
swimsuit? I was thinking it was just a racing swimsuit.
Yes, so I think this is the real blow up here, is that... So nobody really likes a Dark Fencer costume, right? It's got like a silly hat, and like nobody's really fond of it because it's got too many horns and so on and so forth.
Plus, I mean, weren't the judges the villains of FF12?
Yeah, something like that. But I think what's gonna happen is for summer, okay? Summer's swimsuit skins are gonna be for Dark Fencers. They take the armor off, they're wearing a similar swimsuit to the Black Knight. How's that for Evil Plan?
I don't feel it.
I think that'd be pretty reasonable and funny.
I think it would be funny. I don't know about reasonable. There's two different things going on there, and I don't think you can get both in the same one.
I mean, like, what other costume could you switch to swimsuit besides Ogre?
Ogre's already in a swimsuit.
Yeah, so like that wouldn't really count, right? Like, I think it would have to be something like Dark Fencer.
What about Hermit?
I mean, Guy Hermit doesn't really work.
Well, neither Hermit works, but we already have precedent with Anna getting a swimsuit. You just keep the big hat on, and then you're in a swimsuit.
That's true, but it's not a hat though. It's like a, it's like a cape. I don't know.
Yeah,
Either
I guess
way,
so. I don't know.
I would if I was a betting man, I'd bet on Dark Fencer.
I will bet you that it's gonna be the wizard line.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, everybody's a witness.
All right, let's see it. Let's move on to the next character, shall we?
Yeah.
So also in conjunction with this new event, they released 3 new characters, and I guess we should go
Four,
for the bottom
technically.
up.
I mean, we have the event character and the gacha character, so let's start with the bottom up. Yeah, let's start with the rare.
Alright, so the first new character is... I don't know what the Romaji is, or like what they put in English, but she's basically Potato Furiosa.
And by basically, we mean she's actually Potato Furiosa.
Yeah, she has a robotic arm. She basically is kind of like looking for like the Potato Mad Max, pretty much. I mean, I don't know what else you need.
I mean, let me go take a look at her name in English really quickly. Her name in English...
her name is Vulcan, I guess.
In English, it's Balurga. B-A-L-U-R-G-A.
Balurugan. I see. I mean, she's pretty cool. Yeah. I think her abilities are, once again, a lot of the rares are getting a lot of interesting abilities that oftentimes
for the first time
on a rare character.
Yeah, she gets OD Assassin.
Yep, a rare with Overdrive Assassin, which is kind of cool.
But I mean, what's even more cool? Look at the weapon that you get for getting her.
it's like
3 shotguns tied to each other.
Yeah, it's like 3 shotguns. Basically, like I don't really know how. Tied together is probably pretty accurate, honestly.
Yeah.
And she's also got her nuke ability is the less HP she has, the more damage it does. So that's also pretty useful, honestly. But as far as like Earth rares go, I can't really think of anybody else that's notable.
I have a list of them in my sheet, but yeah, I can't remember which one is useful
There's
right
like
now.
Earth
This moment.
Kumyu, and that's a Kamyu.
Oh, yeah, it's Earth Kumyu, yeah, Slime Killer.
And that's all I really can think about.
Pretty much.
It's pretty cool, at least not for the design. But I am disappointed that's a rare, not SR. It seems kind of sad.
But the thing is that all of the R's lately have been potatoes. I think they're just giving us R potatoes for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, I think, like, if this character was SR and had a 3rd skill, she would be really, really strong.
She could be, yeah.
Same with the Red Mage potato. If he had 1 more skill, he'd be so stupid.
As it is, he's really strong anyway.
Yeah, he's so ridiculously strong. Like, when he fights Anti-Dark, he just does double damage. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man, so cool. But yeah, either way, that's Furiosa for you. And also, we've got this new character is a SR version of a rare character. His art looks so much better.
Yeah, his art is... Well, also, people just plain call him T-Hawk. Like, there's just no escaping his name.
Yeah.
No one calls him SO. People just call him T-Hawk.
He is basically just T-Hawk.
So if he jumps at you with his hand stuck out, just get out of there. or just put down your stick and walk away.
Yeah, honestly,
there's only
his
2
old art
options.
was so generically bland.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. I think I have him. Let me pull him up real quick. This is not the window you can click on to do this. I think I have him leveled too, because like back when I started, like I used a lot of terrible rares, and I was like, I like leveled him up and instantly regretted. I was like, oh my god, this guy's so bad. There he is.
Well,
I got him to
that's
40.
ours for you. Yeah, that's rares for you, like the original rare designs.
Ooh, but yeah, he sucks. He just has like a shitty nuke, and like his double attack rate goes a little bit better. Like, oh my god, it's so bad.
There's a bunch of rares that are just, it's like, well, this guy's here to eat space. There's nothing really there to him.
Yeah, but in his SR version, he's okay, I would say. It's good to have like another useful human, but we're kind of like coming off of Street Fighter. We already have like 2 other humans that are pretty solid.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a unique skill set either, because Attract is kind of what Hazen already does.
Yeah, actually, Hazen technically has a better one too.
Yeah, it's not even technically. He has a better one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, like his cover doesn't really give him a. Like it doesn't like give him any stats or anything, but it does make him all angry and stuff. But yeah, overall he's kind of whatever.
He's very whatever.
Yeah, one of his skills is he nukes. The less health he has, the more damage he does. His second skill is he always double or triple attacks for 2 turns, and his third skill is like increase aggro and then also defense up. So I mean, it's all pretty okay-ish. I mean, I feel like anything's an upgrade from his rare, so yeah. But either way, it's probably nothing. You don't have to pretend to be happy if you get him. I do think his support is pretty good though. I just don't know how much it stacks.
It's a good question, actually.
Yeah, because his support is every time he takes damage, he does more damage. His attack goes up and stacks. So, I don't actually know. So like the flavor text is like, whenever he takes damage, he gains more attack, and the effect is small at first, but after a while it gets kind of stronger, kind of thing. So I don't actually know how really good it is, but it does exist.
I mean, that same ability exists on Malo, and it's bad. So,
yeah. But then again, I should probably tell you.
It's also because, I mean, the chance of doing it is like only 25% or something bad, and also she has to give herself defense down to attract attack to herself.
At least this one's the opposite.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess, nothing too notable. No Sen this time around, I guess. And last but not least, this introduced, I guess, technically in the current event, we have SSR version Alicia.
Alicia
Sorry.
is her mom's
Alicia's
name.
the mama, yeah. I always get them mixed up. Boom. So there we go. Alicia.
Yep.
She has a really cool art. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Overall, she seems pretty solid, but nothing spectacular. Though I do feel like, as a whole, counterattack builds are not very well explored in Granblue.
Counterattack builds, there's a lot of use, but they mostly involve either playing solo or low numbers of characters, or using the Guild Wars Fist. Because the Guild Wars Fist is the one that gives it to your entire team, and that's what makes it reliable.
The thing about counterattacks is that they have other secret modifiers for damage, but nobody is really particularly keen on looking them up or figuring them out. I know Light Solus's counter is 200%.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that for Bauta Oda also, the one who is the actual light tank who will counterattack.
Yeah, so then it's probably underrated. They probably could be counterattacking for 1 million or something, but
the cap is the auto attack cap most of the time, which is 450 actually. 450k. Yeah, usually. Gunda Goza caps at it around there.
Oh, I see. It caps at a normal attack, huh?
Yep.
I would not have known either way.
Now, Sen. No, we'll get to Sen at another time. The Japanese have actually contacted me and told me that Sen deserves her own tier in SRs.
Really?
And I agree, yeah.
I pretty much agree too. Not only is she special, but she's also strong.
Yeah. She's definitely on her own. But that's another topic. So Alicia, she's one of those characters who is good, is solid, but nothing to, shake up the current, just the current makeup of Fire teams. Because Fire's top 4 are pretty set, and it used to be just top 3. And then from there, like, so you have UL, who provides all the support that Fire needs for the rest of the team. You have Clarice if you need a dispel. You have Magisa for Veil, which many wind fights need. So Fire just brings that, and the Veil is just amazing. You have Percival because he's Percival. And those are the top 4. So you have some niche uses for people like Fire Potato. You have some niche uses for Aoidos. When you are so far above and beyond the defense requirements for the fight, you just kill it anyway. And so where she fits in is pretty much outside of those top 4. And then she doesn't really have the team utility to bring her into like the keep this character in mind in case there's a mechanic that requires her kind of thing.
I do think that she'll eventually, like, if you get her right now, she's definitely like and you don't have like the full like Fire team, the team. Like, she can definitely fit on your team for a while, because I think that overall, her like the slight defensive boost she gives to your team, as well as like attacking at the same time, is definitely not weak. The fact that what was it? Also, like, she kind of has like a stacking ability too, which doesn't seem bad at all.
Yeah,
she's a 2 stacking abilities. So until people really come up with the numbers, I don't really know. But either you need to become, either you don't have the characters that like Fire, the core characters, or you want to try like actually like breaking the damage cap and doing big damage. But I don't really know 100% how it's supposed to work. But yeah, I do think that there's some untold synergy with her being able to break the damage cap and also like having counterattack as well. So I think there's some kind of like secret like counter build in there somewhere. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, but the other thing that kind of lowers her usefulness is that, so there are very few characters in Fire who can taunt already and draw attacks to themselves. So you have Event Noish from last year. You have Agielba, who's not really that good at his job. Otherwise, you pretty much bring Sarah, or you use the main character as Holy Saber. But also, I mean, other than Aoidos, there's no real reward for drawing attacks away from the rest of the Fire team. And that's not even a matter of Aoidos giving you a benefit. It's more of a matter of being able to use his abilities without him, eating a bunch of attacks and dying from his natural skill set. So, I mean, there is a need for this, but there isn't really a benefit for it yet. There's no 6, there's no Siete, there's no Seox and Seophon. There's no Harazena, who really rewards you for, playing this little mini game of don't get hit.
Yeah, I kind of get that too. I kind of get that vibe too. It's just that, like, to me, there has to be like some kind of cool, like, because you're just doing extra damage on your opponent's turn, there might be something really cool you can do there. But until that kind of opportunity really presents itself, I don't really know what that is.
Plus, in most cases, it's not the auto attack that you're really worried about. I mean, there are exceptions. They're the same exceptions where you don't want to bring fear.
Right.
And so, when you're actually worried about the auto attack, then this can be fine. But, there's other characters who can do better for that.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of like an off-color choice, is what I would think. Like, if you're going against Wind, I don't think there would be much opportunities for you to use Eliza. But as far as other, like, when you go off-color, I think there may be more opportunities for counter and so on.
Yeah. Going off color, though, you always have to ask the question, well, why am I not just bringing Petra or Sarah or both? If you're protecting someone from a hit, you can use Petra, and then she has a bunch of other options. And then if you're just trying to save your entire team from some kind of, giant amounts of damage, then you bring Sarah. Like, people bring Sarah to Siete fights, like Seophon. They bring her to win, because she's just that good at her job.
Well, on that note, stream. So yeah, if you pull her, that's cool. If you like her, you should pull her. But for the most part, it's kind of a hard sell in terms of just how good she really is.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the CD that includes her SR. I've bought all the CDs so far. Why not, right?
That's true. So that we'll get into that a little more later. But yeah, if you do buy, they did announce that if you buy her CD, you get the SR version of the character. I wonder if skins are coming.
Well, there's definitely the skin coming with the... Well, we'll talk about that later. So we should probably move on to the event character, who is kind of the prize right now. SR Stan.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the things that we were talking about, the reward for protecting one character for a significant period of time, that exists in Dark. That is the definition of protecting Cease. Because if you, for every turn that he does not get hit, he gains 30% attack. And it adds up really fast. Like, really fast.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Like, this character, Stan, is basically... The Dark version of this character is kind of built, like, perfectly to synergize with that. It's kind of crazy.
It's great. So, his abilities, let's run it down. He has like stacks of what's called bravery, and the braver he gets, and it's a 3 stack, right? Yeah, mm-hmm. So it goes up to 3, and every time he takes damage, it gives him bravery. So depending on his bravery, his nuke goes up. So Riot Sword, it gets more damage. Let's see here. It also affects his OD Assassin, and it affects his Ogi. And when he does use his Ogi or his charge attack, it resets to 0. So it's very similar to Irie, who many people consider to be just like way too powerful for her rarity and availability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very good comparison. Also, Bravery works with his other passive. I forgot about that, where it raises his multi-attack rate, mm-hmm. and it increases his aggro.
Yeah, it's overall too. It's all bonuses too. There's no downside to not having Bravery, which is also like a big plus. So overall, he's actually like a really strong SR for Dark, actually.
Yeah, and well, like I said, like I used to have a really bad Dark team, even though I had 6 on it. Like I had Melinda on my team still. And if I'd had Stan instead, there are certain fights where it's just like, look, I don't need to have certain mechanics in here, so let's see what happens if I bring Stan. And I'm just gonna protect 6 for 3 turns. In those 3 turns, 6 will gain a disgusting amount of meter. At bare minimum, every 3 turns, 6 will gain 74. No, wait, hold on. 22, 66, 76 meter every 3 turns.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, the thing is, Stan's second ability is, it looks like cover, but what it does is he covers for only 1 character. So it's like kind of a built-in combo where if you have the Gilbert character on your team for Dark, you just have Stan protect him for 3 turns, and you're golden, pretty much.
Especially since 6 can protect himself for pretty much 2 out of every 5 turns. So magically, Stan works out perfectly to cover for when 6's illusion and counter are down.
Yeah, it's a really strong combo, and if you have the Gilbert character, Stan honestly is not even a bad choice for some kind of battles. He might actually be even a better choice than some of the SSRs, given how the fight is supposed to like play out. Because sometimes like CCS gets so strong, the fight is over once he's like fully powered up. So then, if like Stan can actually fit into that kind of game plan really well, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, for someone like HL, I mean, maybe not so much. He doesn't do anything besides hurt other people. I mean, he just does damage and protects 1 character. So ultimately, he's like much more solid for like those kind of quicker fights.
Yeah. My mistake, by the way. He doesn't have OD Assassin. He has OD Burst.
Yeah, it's a drive burst or whatever.
Yeah, it's drive burst So my mistake on that. But I mean, that doesn't really change that much. It's still just a bonus on top of his already good abilities.
Yeah, drive burst is also his drive burst cooldown is like it's 5 like most other characters with drive burst. So then, just in general, you can kind of, depending on how you want to use your abilities, it can kind of work out really well with his bravery meter and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't know how your bravery gets used up, though. I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah, well, it's based on the Irie design, right? Where they can't have him buffed all the time.
Yeah.
His stats are meaningless.
I would have preferred like a different, I don't know, descriptor at least.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no reason for him to get less brave after doing something. Anyways, that's down for you. So if you're doing the event right now, it's definitely a good pickup. Definitely do get him. You have to complete chapter 6 to get him into your party of the event story, but it's 0 AP, so you know, might as well.
And not just that, but also finishing the 3 AP boss, or the 30 AP 3 BP boss, gives you like half of his trust meter right there.
Oh,
just by doing it.
If you can solo it, yeah. I mean, if you can't, you'll just need to do like a couple more.
True, but I mean that's just the course of doing the event, right?
Yeah. Also, since we're talking about the event now, there's something really interesting to me. Is the summon?
Drudge?
Yeah. He's pretty unspectacular. I mean, if you have no light summon, you know, go for it. But what's really interesting is the English text is incorrect.
Yeah, it says resistance up on him, so people are like, hey, guys, is this the new Hecaton? Because we're going to need to stock up on light bunkles for eventual Grande HL, right? And the answer is no. The English is wrong because he makes you resistant to debuffs.
Yeah, I was really... actually, what is the exact text?
On the English or the Japanese?
Let me look at the English one real quick, because I never actually looked at what it said in English. Pull it up real quick.
Yeah, let me just look into my inventory and bring it up for you.
It says specifically boost to resistance. So I guess people were kind of extrapolating that maybe it's dark resistance or something. But yeah, it just says boost to resistance. So people thought this might be dark resistance, or light resistance perhaps, which is obviously really powerful, but it does not appear to be the case. It's just resistance to debuffs. So you know.
Yeah. It sucks, but what do you do?
I mean, I'm happy. I get to break them all down for, you know, light stones.
I'm gonna keep one of them because I like Drudge in the story. I think he's a bro. I want to see him come back.
Yeah, if you haven't played the event yet, I think it's solid. Like, it's not gonna blow your socks off, but it's like a fun story. It's not going to, it's inoffensive unless you're really upset that Elisa has a boyfriend.
I don't think people are upset that Lisa has a boyfriend now that they know that her mom is, you know, there and that that dad travels a lot. Let's just say that.
Alicia Mama is something else.
Do not search that tag on Twitter at work. Do not search that tag on Twitter or Pixiv at work. That's just like me putting up the sirens. Just don't.
Wow, Doraf women. I mean, anime moms in general, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, that's the event. So yeah, do check it out. It's worth your time for sure.
And for those of you who are newer, Catoblepus is one of the harder, very hard bosses that they've made in a while.
Oh yeah.
Largely for the 50% trigger. My main suggestion for those of you who don't have like the big Veil characters or like one-shot parties and things like that, bring Catalina.
Yeah,
bring Catalina.
That stupid boss is surprisingly hard. Like when I was auto-attacking, I was like, why do I do 10k damage? What's going on? All those debuffs are pretty real.
Yeah, and that's why you need to bring Catalina.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I can't repeat that enough. Catalina is the MVP for so many people. And, you know, once you've been playing for a while, it's easy to forget about her. Until something comes around and you're like, wow, I wish I could get rid of this debuff. If you have SSR Vera, I mean, more power to you. Or if you're bringing, like, your fire team with Magisa, etc., etc. But for players who are newer, they hand you the most important ability in the game within your first hour of play. Use it.
Yeah, I mean, the boss fight is not that hard outside of the debuffs, I would say. Like, it doesn't hit that hard.
You can afford to do anything that you can to get rid of those debuffs, and that's why Catalina is the MVP if you don't have any of the other on-element, you know, on your main team elements, like, let's see, so we got Vera, we have Saruel, we have Magisa, Limited Cat or SR Cat or I think it's a Rulumaya is the last one, right?
There's also Lamretta.
Oh, and Jasmine. Lamretta and Jasmine.
Yeah.
But anyway, bring one of those characters because the fight is otherwise pretty, normal, but that 50% trigger will kill you.
Yeah, it's bad news. I actually don't even know what the red and blue debuff do still.
I bring SSR Vera. I ticketed her recently, so I get to ignore it, which is nice. But when you're not gonna spend the money on that, or you're not lucky, bring the free one. It's very important.
Yeah, I just take it and dispel it, but it's that's because I have Funfu, who's basically undebuffable.
Yeah, well, so like I said, if you're not privileged, bring Catalina. She's important.
Let's see. All right, I think that's like a really brief overview of the event. I think there's really not much else to say about it, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, let's see. Should we move on to the Cho Nico Kaigi stream that they did for Granblue recently?
Yeah, I guess we can do a little bit of
recap.
Recap, yeah, is probably pretty appropriate. So most of the stream was pretty casual because how it worked was, one of the 3 guests, there were 2 voice actresses and one really hardcore streamer. It was me and a mask, guys.
It was you with the ninja mask on,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It could have been me. You don't know. Even though
he was your Bunshin, right? Obviously, he was your shadow clone.
So, anyways, so they would all ask questions, and then of course the hardcore player asked all the hard-hitting questions. And we learned a lot about, because Haruto had to answer them, and the theme of it was oh, because it's Chokaigi, we'll answer your questions kind of thing, right?
And so he asked real questions, and Haruto kind of dodged a lot of them, which, was expected, but, I mean, you still have to ask. If you're in that position.
Yeah, he answered, as far as the treasure hunt question, I think he messed up the answer, so then they had to
they had to
fix it.
They had to release a correction to it.
Yeah. It's, it basically just reconfirmed what we know about treasure hunt, though.
Yeah. So treasure hunt, each chest has its own drop rate, and then every time that you kill something, it rolls against each drop rate in a row, just going down the line. And then after that, once it knows that the chest is going to appear, then it says whether or not what's inside. That's when it decides. So treasure hunt doesn't affect what's inside; it affects how good the chest is. And then the clarification he made was the interaction between Oliver and all of the other separate effects that do the same thing.
So because of that, yeah, it's important. It's important to know that those effects, they're separate. I guess because you know how in this game there's all those damage modifiers and so on.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of similar to that, honestly. You have the different luck modifiers now too.
Yeah. And now that I've gotten my SSR Oliver, it's gonna start mattering, especially since my next Guild Wars character is going to be Esser, who I think is English Twillion.
Twillion is Sorn.
Oh, whoops. Whatever Esser's name is.
It's Tien. I remember that one.
Tien, that's right. That's because everybody was making the Dragon Ball jokes.
Yeah, actually, whenever I think Eric posted on Twitter, I was so ready to make some dank memes right there, but I resisted.
So anyway, we should probably actually say what the correction was that they issued. I have to pull it up though.
Yeah. Yeah. When was that though? It was before Character 1, so... Oh, here we go. There it is.
Where is that? There it is.
Yeah. So what he said on... Basically it says what he said on the Chokaigi stream is not 100% true. Treasure Hunt, SL, I guess Tien, White Rabbit, Oliver are all separate effects. So if having Treasure Hunt level 9 and Oliver together is like basically like he's it's like a double negative of like it's not insignificant, I guess is probably what he's trying to say.
Yeah, basically he's saying that just bring them all, whatever.
Pretty much.
If you have them, then my ultimate dream is fire Oliver plus Tien, and like the White Rabbit summon.
Yeah, it's I don't know, like, cause the question was specifically how rare is the Hirokane drop, and the answer was still it's super rare.
Yeah.
And it's like, how rare is it if you're being treasure hunt? I think the voice actor said that basically, right?
Yeah.
And then Haruto was kind of like forced to answer. He's like, it's still super rare, but then the way he worded it was like, it did not seem to make like the way he worded it made it sound like it didn't make a difference whether or not you had those two effects, but basically had to correct that you did.
Yeah.
Whatever, however microscopic it is.
Because when you add 10% to like 0.01%, then you end up with 0.011%.
Yeah.
So
Woohoo!
woo!
Yeah.
We've gotten that extra margin. So once every approximately 100,000 times, then you might see a difference.
Yep. And also, another big question was that the hard hitter, me, obviously on stream asked, is like, why are all the characters currently limited characters for SSRs?
So his answer was very diplomatic, and it makes sense on a certain level, but everybody knows in their hearts what the real answer is.
Yeah, I mean, their point about gold moon inflation does make sense.
It does.
He brought up the math that basically if the characters are added permanently, basically there's no longer a concentrated roll period anymore, right? And then because of that, if people roll continuously for new characters throughout the entire month, because they probably have the data on how people roll, obviously.
Yeah.
So then, because of that, they have to like focus the roll concentration into that like 3 to 5 day period, basically, right? And then by doing that, they prevent like massive like gold moon inflation for items and such. Man, I guess that makes sense. It's a response that I will buy.
Yeah. But I mean, the easy answer is that it makes people spend more money.
Yeah.
Right. That it is what it is. But in other terms, I mean, it forces a roll period outside of Legend Fest, which is probably a big part of what they're looking for.
Yeah, because they specifically mentioned that you have like the average player has like some percentage of rolling a gold moon per roll during Legend Fest, and then because of that, they need to have this kind of separate roll period. And honestly, you have a better chance of getting the character outside of Legend Fest, so people do bite on that, and they do roll outside of Legend Fest.
Yeah, and I mean, there are reasons to roll outside of Legend Fest, but they're so small and marginal that they definitely needed other things to do other than surprise ticket to make people, actually feel like they were getting a benefit for their hard-earned yen.
Yeah, and I also feel that it does make sense though. I mean, there's the number of people who have those like stupid like, look, it's my 9 Shev Sword grid or whatever, Like, those people are fewer and farther between because they've actually already gone crazy. Like, Cygames has already made their money off of them. But then, like, I think they're trying to prevent other people from walking the same path, like, this early in the game,
Yeah. Because gold moon inflation is pretty real. I mean, when you the difference between having the gold moon weapons and not having them, it is...
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
it's wow.
The gay blog is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
So honestly, I guess they're just trying to avoid. Like, it's a reasonable answer, and I will buy it for now. I wondered like when they're gonna actually like incorporate. I think my theory is that like once they've gone the full cycle with all the elements, like there's one of each new element character, they might like fully incorporate those characters into the gacha afterwards, and then continue with like one character a month, but then those new characters will be limited too. Kind of thing.
It would make sense. I mean, it's kind of like the Enshiro concept, right? They didn't bring her back for a good 5 months in order to build demand. And they brought her back at what people feel was a good time because they were trying to bleed off all of the refunds that they had to give out during that New Year's period.
Yeah, and also just the 70 free rolls is just not good timing for them.
Yeah, also true.
So
yeah, I mean, it's pretty reasonable. I'll buy it as well.
On that note, though, I guess was there anything else on the stream that we mentioned? I guess everyone got 1488 crystals due to like the mini game they were kind of playing.
Yeah. Well, actually, so here are the other things that were important about the stream. So they announced that 2 CDs are actually coming out at the same time.
Oh, that's right.
So there's going to be the Eliza and Jessica song that you heard a little bit of from Theatrhythm. The whoa 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 one that everybody just got stuck in their heads horribly if they were watching that live stream. It's like, please stop.
I feel like nobody really liked that song, but I like it.
I'm okay with it. I just don't want it to be overplayed. I just do not want that to be that overplayed anymore, you know? But the important one, the one that everybody was waiting for, it comes out on the same day as Sanbagarasu Otoku, aka the Three Kings' Song of Men.
Yeah. It's pretty great. You get Eliza Jessica's CD. You get SR Eliza for buying that, right?
Yes, you get the event Eliza.
And then, do you get anything for the this one?
You get an Eugen skin.
That's right. You get an Eugen skin, and I don't think anyone has mentioned we don't know what it looks like yet, right?
I think it was going to be him in a Fundoshi, right?
That's the guess.
Super manly one.
The image yet.
So Soya song. The dream is real, and I'm getting both of those because
CD
I'm a sucker
quality.
for... Yeah. Instead of just having an MP3 that we stole off of the internet.
Well, I mean, off of the game, pretty much.
Off of the game files, yeah.
There's
they do have just... People just pulled it straight off of the game, and then they added the Hell Mode version together, and they just assembled a full song.
Yep. There's also there were also some interesting tidbits, like just little data and stuff, like how many people have gotten Berserker versus Sage. I think 5,000 Berserkers and around 3,000 Sages in the whole game.
Yeah, life is hard, and you're a unique and beautiful snowflake, James Shea, for having your bunny skin on.
I have what was it? There's only 3,000 of us, and then they also have the Guild War character numbers. Uno is at like 300 still. It's funny because
it's still bad.
He had like 50 like a year and a half ago, I think.
It was less than that. There were actually it was like low teens, I think, the last time I checked on it.
Yeah, and
it was bad.
Was like, also bringing up the rear, but yeah, I'm a unique snowflake, and I have 2 rare things.
I'm a unique snowflake as well. I have 6. There's only 2,000 or so 6s in the wild.
Yeah, but they buffed him. Maybe in the future,
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people who are building him now. But you know what? I live in the San Francisco area. I can do this. I'm gonna push up my glasses and be like, hey, I had him before he was cool.
You did have him before he was cool. Yeah, he was actually pretty not that cool.
Oh, he was bad.
He honestly was probably like the only reason there were more of him compared to characters like Uno is that he looks cooler.
And he has the more popular voice actor.
That's true. Yeah.
Like every time I Ogi with him, do his charge attack, I just hear Gao Gaigar in the back of my head. Every time he screams, I'm like, yes!
It's pretty great. But yeah, I think that's all I can really think of off the top of my head. It was a good stream overall. If you want to check it out, I did watch it. You could check that archive. You can also check the Nico archive too if you had in fact time shifted it or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was overall a fairly well executed stage event.
Let's see, and I think that's about it really for today's stream. Looking towards next week. Unfortunately, we don't have a schedule yet. Oh yeah, I guess someone's bringing up Warlock and Sparta and Defend Order too, but we kind of already brought those up last time too.
Yeah, Sparta is one thing. Knowing what the next tier 4 class is really not that interesting. Although, so there were 2 things in the far future that Haruta brought up. One was the existence of he's thinking that the right time to give all of the Guild Wars characters their 5th star is going to be the 3rd anniversary.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant all of them either. He just said that would be the time when I would
like if it's going to happen, that's when it's going to start. And then the other thing he mentioned for the future was that all of the tier 4 classes should be out by the end of the year.
I mean, they tried to get all the EX classes out by the end of the year last time too. They didn't really succeed.
Yeah, they really didn't. But I mean, that's a schedule he's giving. We'll see what happens from there. Like, we're still wondering how they can possibly make Holy Saber better. We're just like, what do you do to make that class any better? Like, you can actually... Okay, the way you would do it is that you would add 5% onto Phalanx so that borrowed carbuncles would still be full of effectiveness.
I think that's fair. It's not broken, I would say. It's really, really good.
I mean, it's such a marginal change in just pure numbers, but in terms of how it changes the game, it opens so many doors to people being able to like help each other by saying, I'm pulling up a carbuncle, go ahead and grab it, double it off of me, then you don't die to Skyfall or Gamma Ray,
Yeah, I was actually thinking that it would... Like, I think like 75 is actually probably too good, but they would probably do something like more historical, like when you find like everyone's attack goes up or something.
Or they make it last 2 turns, like they did with Weapon Burst.
That's also possible, yeah.
So one thing that would do actually is that it would save a lot of spaces in raids. Like as it is, when you're constricted to 6 people or to 18 people, there's such a high volume of them have to be Holy Sabers that it really kills the other class's viability, just because you're required to have that number of Holy Sabers to live.
Yeah,
and then from there,
stuck with 2. Like, you have to have 2.
Yeah, and then when you're in like 18 mans, you have to have way more than that.
Yeah, the general guidelines like 4 to 6.
I mean, it's an classic MMO problem, right? You will always have to have X number of tanks. You will always have to have X number of healers, and then it doesn't scale very well. Like going to smaller numbers or larger numbers. Like it's alleviated in Granblue by the fact that no one is forced to be a single spec from even 1 minute to the next. But yeah.
Yeah, ultimately that would be really cool. And like Warlock, I'm not really sure about. I don't even have Hermit unlocked. So that I'm not 100% sure about. But either way, they mentioned that both classes will come around late June, and that their goal is to not have a 3-month gap between all of them. So maybe we'll see more in July, or July seems unlikely, maybe August.
The sad thing is that neither of them seem to be animal themed. So our dream of like Sloth or Rhinoceros, Dark Fencer 4 is dead. I
think... I don't know. Like, I still think Sparta could still be like horse kind of. And
I mean, they did say that that the Spartan cheetah is surprisingly cute, but I don't know if that means that. I'm afraid of what that means, to be perfectly honest.
I'm sure maybe she's not wearing upper body breastplate.
Well, that's kind of guaranteed. Like, the only fully clothed cheetah I can think of is Holy Saber.
That's true, huh?
Wait, no, Hermit. Hermit wears clothing.
Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. There's something we forgot to mention completely, actually. They added the credit cards did come in for some people. It didn't come in for me yet, but
is it actually coming in at all for you?
I don't know. They haven't sent me the rejection letter yet, so.
She's like, so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. I just want the rejection letter to say I tried. But anyways, so people have received Zoe now. This would have been nice to cover when we were talking about other characters, but I guess we'll just do this one quick for now. Yeah, it's a lot of characters, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot. I wouldn't really call her released, more than just like unlocked.
But she's not broken, so this sign, it works.
Yeah, I mean, now it's 3 SSRs that they've released without breaking the game.
Woo! Woo! But yeah, we'll talk more about it next time. Partially because a little bit of her abilities haven't really been like fully explored because a lot of people don't really have her. They don't really know what the numbers are yet, but we'll talk a little bit more in depth next time. Hopefully we'll have a little more on her.
Yeah.
And I think that about does it for this week's show.
Is it time for the money match then?
Alright, let's do it. Actually, I've already rolled today. So if you accept
so did
my
I, actually.
previous roll.
Boy.
I'll say it's not an SSR. How about that?
Mine's also not an SSR.
Okay.
In fact, I've already eaten it.
Oh. What was it?
It was the R Mushroom Girl summon.
I won then.
Sleepy, I think?
I forgot her name. Yeah, I was at lunch and I rolled absent-mindedly. I was like, wait, I was supposed to do this tonight.
Yeah, same thing happened to me. Exactly same thing.
Alright, how about this then? Let's see. I rolled Furiosa. But that doesn't seem fair. I think, here's what we'll do. We'll do a tiebreaker.
Okay.
So, I think this week will be Rupee Gacha Awareness Week. And every day you should be doing your Rupee Gacha because something good might come out of it.
And by something good, we honestly just mean +1s and R weapons.
Yeah. I mean, there is a microscopic chance for you to roll an SSR. Maybe you will see that live on stream today. Do you still have your free one?
I used my 101. It was a slow day at work, so I used all of them.
Damn. There's like nothing to roll today. Alright, how about this? We'll just make it a tie. It's fine.
Okay. We both. Well, I'm gonna call this your win because Furiosa Potato is better than Sleepy. You got 50 crystals out of it. I got like 100 summon experience. Woo boy.
Yeah, Furiosa is very cute. I will say this. So stream, I do apologize. There is no roll tonight. I know some people probably came only to watch the roll happen, but it already.
Don't worry. Once the next Legend Fest comes around, I'm gonna try rolling SSR Catalina, and you guys can watch me as Armando is there and curses me with SSR Rakam.
Look how cute she is, stream. Look, I just saw this on Twitter right now. Oh man, she's adorable. Shout out to this user.
Sadly, she's not as popular, shall we say, as Alicia Mama.
You know,
but
that's a pretty high hurdle.
That's a really high hurdle.
But yeah, on that note, stream, we're gonna call it a day. Do you send us your mail? Let's see. Do you send us your mail? That's the wrong image. Where's the mailbox? I need to delete this stupid Star Gadget thing. Alright. Do send us your mail. What currently unplayable character in Granblue Fantasy do you want to get a playable version? It could be anybody, you know, that's in the game. We'll accept that answer.
And as a reminder, it has to be unplayable, so all of the people being like SSR Barowen, that doesn't count. He's playable.
Yeah, so it would have to be someone like Pomeroon or Adam.
Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
I wanted him so bad when he was revealed in story.
He's pretty dope, yeah. So yeah, it'll have to be one of those character streams. So just send us your mail. We'll pick the best answers and give you 50 crystals. Alright, Dom, you got anything to say today?
Hopefully, in the next few weeks, that sign, the number will go up instead of resetting to 0. Because, you know, it's one of those things where every time a new character comes out, you have to balance, like, is this exciting enough to roll for, is the first thing. Second thing is this broken enough to roll for anyway because there's going to be a refund. And that's a dangerous game to be playing.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. But either way, we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.